Handover first?
First, then we can make an acceptance speech.
It's a momentous occasion when this ministry is welcoming you and handing over to you. I want to recognize the presence of the Principal Secretary, State Department of Investment Promotion, Abubakar Hassan, Principal Secretary, State Department of Trade, Alfred Omudo, Principal Secretary, State Department of Industry, Dr. Juma Bukwana, and I see the senior ranks of the entire MITI fraternity. And I want to wish you all a good afternoon. It has been about 9 months since I came to this phenomenal ministry, yet it seems as if I only passed by for a few weeks or just this afternoon. In those months, I have learned new things and most importantly, made new acquaintances. I carry cherished memories and good lessons. I can therefore unquestionably confirm to my colleague, CS Mvuryia, that this space has no dull moment. And the teams, they have well endowed abilities. We have able officers of considerable diligence and who, I have no doubt, will support your efforts to move the ministry several notches higher from where we left it. In life, goodbyes are essential, but growth is constant. Still, goodbyes are sometimes awkward. Like when I look at the people we were working with, goodbyes are a little awkward, but necessary. As I bid farewell to my co-workers at this ministry, such is the mixed bag of feelings I am dealing with. Another chance of growth awaits me at the very exciting Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. Yes, in fact, you should have been there an hour ago at the takeover. It's like the whole Nairobi was there. And yeah, but I must admit that there is an awkwardness that is in my heart as I part ways with persons I had forged a working rhythm and relationship with. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank the staff most sincerely at this ministry for the support extended to me for the time I have been here. It is because of you that we registered laudable progress in many fronts. For that I say asanteni sana. The following select schedule is a portrait of the footprint of my tenure at the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry. Together with the State Department of Trade, we did work of international nature. We oversaw the initiation of an international initiative that culminated in the signing of significant trade agreements or economic partnership agreements. We had the Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the CEPA, with the UAE. We signed the European Economic Partnership Agreement in December. That had a lot of work had been done, but remember the last mile counts. So we did the last mile as that. Lots of progress with the Kenya-US Trade and Investment Partnership Agreement, the famous STIP. Significant achievements were made. and many other bilateral agreements that we worked on. On the industry front, we signed an MOU with 18 counties on the county aggregation and industrial parks, and indeed fast-tracked the release of funds from the Treasury for the very first time for implementation of the KIPES. While at it, I think we visited as many industries, either for opening, either for commissioning, or any other activity that we were invited for, and we were all over. We hosted and held forums with the private sector roundtables to resolve long-standing issues, and Waziri, the robust relationship between the government and the private sector is something that as a team we are proud of. We have left a valid relationship with the private sector. We initiated Business Reforms Action Plan Committee, where 75 issues affecting businesses were prioritized for resolution, were tabled before cabinet, and they are now under implementation. In January this year, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area meeting endorsed a recommendation to make me, on behalf of Kenya, a champion of digital trade at a forum held in Durban, South Africa. I am happy to hand over that championship and that baton to you so that you continue being the champion for digital trade. We also spearheaded operationalization of special economic zones, providing opportunities in power, tax initiatives. I vividly recall the Naivasha one, where we were there in February, and we connected power and attracted quite a number of investors, a lot of activities for the Dongo Kundu and other special economic zones. We also worked on flagship economic or export promotion zones, and we have seen quite a lot of activities. We are proud about that. But finally, we launched the Karibu Business Support Center, a one-stop shop that brings all government departments, not government departments, government issues that touch on trade, investment and trade, to support the ease of doing business. If you allow Waziri, we can call it now Karibu Tourism Support Center. And I go away with it. You can also continue with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't have achieved this and more without all hands on deck, eyes on the goal, at times mouths shut, ears open. We had all that together. I therefore cannot thank everyone enough for the dedication, diligence, and sense of duty in those short 9 months that I have been in this ministry as cabinet secretary. Waziri, you have a great team, and I implore on them to uphold the same pace and extend the same and greater support to you, Honorable Waziri, so that we together build a more prosperous Kenya for the good of all. And I must say the members of the fourth estates were kind, and they really supported us in featuring our activities. And as I hand over to you, I am just full of joy, taking the same joy, the same energy to the next department, the next ministry, because we are all in government. As I finish, let me say that this Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry has now got a new minister, a solid minister in government, a seasoned professional and leader with many abilities. And I am so happy that I'm handing over to you. We are close neighbors in cabinet sitting, if not desk mates, and we will continue supporting each other. I extend my goodwill, my open door policies, and even for the team that is here, never hesitate to reach out to me, even if for a greeting or for anything as we work together for our nation. Thank you once more, and God bless you. It is now my pleasure to unleash the newest cabinet secretary for investment, trade and industry at exactly 2:45 p.m. on Wednesday, 14th of August, 2024. Karibu Waziri. We hand over first.
First, let me come and make an acceptance speech.
The rest we can see it so that
Picha mzuri. Piga mzuri sana.
The handshake ndio kutoka vizuri. Thank you so much. Asante, karibu.
Asante sana. Thank you very much, Honorable CS Rebeca Miano, the three PSs here present, the senior teams from the ministry, our partners in the fourth estate. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. I take a lot of pleasure to be here today, and more importantly, thanking my colleague for this occasion, and also to thank all the staff who have found time to be here with us. I really want to congratulate my colleague for the time she has been here and the achievements that have already been outlined. I'm taking over officially today, even though I have been here for a few days in attending to a number of issues, but from this time now I've fully taken over. And let me be very brief on some of the matters, because you agree with me that now I have to go through some of the issues that are pending in the reports. But let me assure you and Kenyans that as I take over, I will also make sure that the areas that have been highlighted, we should be able to continue and stabilize them. All the achievements that have been outlined here will be my first priority to keep them, and then now move on to make sure that now we capture new grounds. The good thing and the good news is that Waziri, you are in the same building also. So if there's something we need to work together, either go up or down, maybe 2 floors, 1 floor up, and we continue to consult. And since this is a whole government approach, the ministries are interdependent. Tourism and wildlife, investment, trade and industry, and all the other ministries will definitely have to work together. So I want to thank you, and also want to thank His Excellency the President for having both of us in cabinet to serve Kenyans And one of the areas that you pointed out, which I would really would like to keep priority, is to make sure that we accelerate the growth in investments. If you look at the figures, there has been a very good progress in terms of investments, now at around $1.5 billion. So that is a priority we will have to keep accelerating, so that all the efforts that have already been put in place and the foundation will be very critical. Naivasha is very key to our economy. Dongo Kundu, with a number of issues to resolve, the issues of resettlements and infrastructure will be very key for us to work together with the team to make sure that we continue to open new frontiers of investment. The other area that is very critical is manufacturing. I think when we looked at the report yesterday together with you, there's a slight decrease in manufacturing. And that point out some of the issues that we need to deal with. And I will be providing leadership in making sure that we are able to accelerate manufacturing. I think the cost of power, and many other issues have been raised. I've also seen a statement from engineers on the proposals, and therefore this is an area we will need to see how we keep the current manufacturers and also get now new ones into the process. The trade issues that are really critical for Kenyans to open and access new markets will also be a key priority because, like for example, the EPA, the EPA is opening a new market in 37 countries, in Europe, and that is a very key area that we will need to see how we continuously facilitate even other stakeholders, the private sector, but also ministries that are in charge of different value chains to be able to be properly glued. It's a 900-page document, but it is possible that we go over and look at the value chains and see how we bring on board the various ministries to also help Kenyans to access the EU market. The Africa market through AFC, FTA is critical. And I also know that the discussions with US on a new arrangement, SIP, is ongoing. I know Waziri, there's some discussion in September, and therefore my commitment is to make sure that we were able to continue with those engagements. On industrialization, I think the issues that have been floated by many Kenyans is how we become more inclusive. We don't just look at big investors in industrialization, but also bring medium investors, right? So I think we'll be working to see how we're able to balance out those priorities. And key among them is to see how we decentralize industrialization. I know we have 18 CAIPs in the various counties, but I also commit to lead the team in making sure that we reach the last mile of the value chain, because the infrastructure is a great project, but now we need to mobilize, the stakeholders who are able to connect with the value chain. So there are many areas that we will be working on, and we'll be counting on the support of all the staff and other government agencies to make sure that we are able to succeed. So it's been really nice to take over today, and I want to thank you for this occasion, and also to thank you most sincerely for building a formidable team. The few days I've been here, it's been very exciting to see that the team is inspired, they are very solid, and they are raring to go. And that's a challenge you have thrown to me. So I want to committee that mobilizing all the energies and abilities within our teams so that each one of them can have a free environment to release their capacities to make contribution to Kenyans on the areas of investment, trade and industry. Because I'm taking over today, I don't want to say much. I only want to stop there. But I want also to commit to the private sector that we will continue with roundtables and further strengthen the relationship so that the government is making policy decisions based on that broader engagement with the private sector. I know there are a number of policy proposals that we'll be discussing later. Some of them we know now, some will come later. So I want to say that we'll keep the channel of communication and we'll keep the channel of partnership to ensure that we achieve the greater goals that have been set out in the national plan and also in MTP4. I also want to thank the media for today, but also to say that we'll be engaging you quite often so that we can have the key messages of some of the investment concepts that we develop to connect with the ground. So I think I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming.
Thank you.
One more shot for you and the pieces.
Okay. Look forward to
Sorry.
Mwenye kupiga picha pia anapigwa picha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. Thank you very much. Okay, asante sana.